Hello and welcome to the STB Racing League Season 17 Monaco Grand Prix live on the Principality of Monte Carlo for what is going to be, I think, the most chaotic race of the season. The Streets of Monaco is the jewel of the Formula 1 calendar. 39 laps of the streets, and I'm sure that these drivers are going to put on a great showing for us this evening. We've had a week off following the Spanish Grand Prix. We are back now, raring to go for the new races that are upon us. Some very interesting ones. And today we're in Monaco. I'm joined in the commentary box by Rigsy X. Rigsy, how has your week off been, and how are you feeling ahead of the Monaco Grand Prix season?
Always, thanks for the introduction once again, Maldi. I'm very much looking forward to Monaco. The week off has treated me quite well. It means that we can rest our vocal cords for an extra week and get back on the grind for the next block of races that we've got coming up. Monaco, as you said, it is the crown jewel in the Formula 1 calendar. It's the race everybody wants to win, and I think because of the challenge that Monaco presents to the drivers, that I think it could be anybody's game. I don't think there will be, like we've had like in previous races, we've had like standout performances for like Bruno Will, Davison, who started off his debut season strongly. You've got Hamjam, who's just off the back, he made one as well in Spain last time out. And you've got other drivers at the front end of the field as well. So I think it can be anybody's game to win, because even the best can make the slightest mistake, as we see Billy WF just having a spin off the exit of the chicane off the exit of the tunnel. But I think the slightest mistake can happen to anybody, Maldi, and like if you pick up a bit of damage on the wing, or you get a puncture or somewhere on the lap, that's your race effectively ruined, and that's your playing catch up for the rest of the 39 laps. So I think it can be anybody's guess as to who's probably going to win this Grand Prix when it comes to race time.
Yes, obviously, Rigsy, there is a lot of barriers around this circuit, and that is going to make it very difficult for the drivers to navigate the streets. But in your opinion, Rigsy, what do you need to nail this very difficult circuit?
I think most drivers will most likely be aiming to. I think it would be quite stupid of them to actually go for skinny wings and try and go for top end speed. It's all about just being consistent, keeping the car out of the wall. I think if you can keep the car out the wall and manage your tyres, it can really go in your favour, because overtaking here is going to be extremely difficult. The only real opportunities I can see would be the DRS straight on the pit straight into turn 1 in Zandvoort, or coming through the tunnel and going for a late braking move into the reverse chicane. They're the main two areas of overtaking, but even then it's going to be extremely difficult for the drivers to nail it and get it right. I think this is a track that surprisingly, you might not think it, but I think it exercises the truest form of racecraft, because it really puts the driver's skill and speed on the line, and it really kind of highlights their skill and performance here than at other circuits, because other circuits don't have the same dangers that Monaco. You don't have the law like literally breathing down your neck as you're driving through the city streets on the Mediterranean coastline. You've got very, very little room for error, unlike other circuits where you can just go to a wee runoff area or onto some tarmac or whatever. Like, we don't have that here. There's very little runoff areas as well, so this is the truest form of testing a driver's skill, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing how the drivers navigate this week.
Definitely, Rigsy. Well, I'm going to try and invite Danny into the street for to start the interview. He's currently coming into the pit lane, so it's a good opportunity to get him interviewed. But yeah, Rigsy, obviously Spain was a very actually a decent race in terms of battling in terms of accidents. But obviously Monaco is going to be a step up from that, I think. We have got a few reserves in for this evening, Rigsy, that I forgot to mention. We've got FCT Daigaro, which actually, Rigsy, was drafted in for the original Tier 2 lineup, but he has shown his pace, and they are willing, the absence of willing to give him an opportunity in this top division. He's currently in P3, Rigsy. I mean, that is a very good display from him there. We've got new driver FXR Victor 9937. He's in the league now in this Tier 1. You've got Kevin back in from Tier 2 with a good opportunity for him to practice, get a few laps under his belt ahead of tomorrow's Tier 2 race, which is going to be very exciting. Then we've got FNT Junior. That's how you pronounce it. Very good driver, but he's a Tier 2 driver again, so he'll be hoping to get a bit of practice in tomorrow. And then we've got returning driver, did race in Tier 2, but he's definitely got the pace for this collision. It's RCK Halls. So, I mean, it's a great lineup, 17 drivers, and I mean, it's going to be a very interesting race. Speaking about the weather, for the race, how is the weather going to impact this race if it does decide to rain?
I mean, the weather just kind of, it literally just ups the difficulty by like 100 million. Like, it's such a divisive factor in this race. The rain is really just going to make the afternoon so much worse for the drivers, because like you're kind of like driving on eggshells already for 39 months in the dry. Like, I wouldn't like to even think about doing that in the wet. Looking at the tyre strategies as well, everybody is opting for the soft tyres, so the strategy kind of looks to be mainly a one-stop. If you can try and avoid picking up damage anywhere, it would be a soft and mediums. We'd probably pit around about lap 10, 11, and then the mediums can probably stretch to the end. If you can manage, the tyres will be like nearly falling off the cliff near the end, but rain can definitely mix things up. And it can completely flip the race on its head, because Monaco is such a frigid circuit and it is so easy to make a mistake even in the dry. So imagine it in the wet. Like, and with the utmost respect, I don't think drivers would. I think there will definitely be a fair few mistakes being made on the track if it was to rain, or even if it's just to be the exact same conditions we've got here right now, which is sunny blue skies, and I would assume a fairly warm temperature in the air and on the track as well, so that's definitely going to help the soft runners try and maximise the lap times.
I think. Yeah, I think Rigsy, it's a known fact that obviously Monaco is a very glorious country in terms of weather, so we would expect, blue skies, high temperatures. It's just beautiful, we're on the fringe of the air right here, so I mean, it's a very good location. But I want to pay attention to Billy WF right now, Rigsy, because he's currently in P5.
Billy WF driving the sole McLaren on the grid. I mean, I think we've talked about him at least once every race weekend. We're definitely hoping to see him improve and try and get himself on the board and try and find some footing into this season. We know him for season 16 as Urban Unicorn. He had a name change in the off season and he's come back as Billy WF. So if you're wondering who he is a familiar face. But we have known what he's like as a driver. Like he's always one for it as well, Maldy. I think we've kind of touched on it before, but he's always one to like go in the ultimate strategy. He always likes to kind of mix things up and go in like the mediums or whatever else on the sauce. So he goes in the sauce, whatever we go in the mediums or whatever. But the main three dry tyre compounds. He's always one to be a bit unconventional with the status quo, so to speak. So definitely. Yeah. It will be strong to see him hopefully have a good result, Maldy, because he definitely it's with respect, we really need to kind of see him get the ball rolling and get some points on the board, because if you're kind of coming out the European stages and you're not getting any points, it's just going to be an endless steep climb to get somewhere in the season. You kind of really need to start bunking down right now if you've not done it already.
Yeah. Okay, Dagoro, are you able to speak for an interview here in the combat? Okay. Well, you've got some audio.
Driving will be good.
Okay, well, we'll just give you one question, Diver, and then you can get on with your.
Yeah.
So obviously, you had a little bit of a struggle for the tier, for what tier you get in, but you've been given the opportunity here this evening here in Monaco. Obviously, we're in France tonight, so in your home country, Riviera, and Monaco is your best track apparently. So how are you feeling ahead of tonight's race?
Well, yeah, as you said, Monaco is my best track in this game. I think I don't have any track where I'm as strong as in Monaco. So yeah, the rain is maybe bothering me a little bit because I hate rain. I never been strong under the rain. So yeah, it will be raining, loud rain, heavy rain in race. So I think it will be a bad point for me, as I never train under the rain, as I really hate it. But I think it could be good as well, as if I'm qualifying as high as I think, I could maybe do something. I did a race recently under the rain, so I think I had a good pace. I think I can do something good, but yeah, wait and see. I don't want to say too much before doing really good things.
Okay. Well, thank you, Dogaro. And yeah, I apologise for inviting you during your lap.
Don't worry.
You'll be able to get into the pit lane and get a fresh set of tyres on. Thank you for joining, Dogaro, and good luck on the final of the run. Very interesting. Very interesting because it's going to rain in the race. That is amazing.
That is definitely threw it into the mix.
Definitely. Dogaro, though, Rigsy. I mean, we really underestimated him at the start of the season. We said Rigsy got the admin. That Dogaro was a tier 2 driver. It's currently P3 in tier 1. That is proving his doubters wrong, and he thought he was going to do a good job here. It's the only French driver in the lobby this season. I think the only French driver in the league, actually. So it'd be good for France to be represented. So, Rigsy, we've got 2 minutes left in the session. Mara couldn't on a lap here. He's really struggling in this Monaco circuit. He's not getting the best, he's not getting the pace out of the car. He's done 18.5 by a slow first sector. Did hit the barrier on the Casino Square section. Janino goes P14 with a 109.9 resist. Danny's going to do 3 attempts to find his lap. We'll put him around P10. P7 for Danny there, 109.556. Exact same lap time as Mercury, Rigsy. So, that is very good. And Mercury's lost 10 player, Rigsy.
Teammates literally can't be split, and that just kind of shows just how good they are as a teammate partnership as well. Both of them literally setting the exact same time, which is it's a very seldom sight in Formula 1. You don't really normally see most of the drivers setting like exact times or like fractional times to each other, but we've got the 2 teammates doing it there. We'll start to see a few retirements now as well. Maldi Hamjam's just decided to retire there as well, so he doesn't think he can do any better than a 108.6, which is an absolute. It's been a stunning lap for the Mercedes driver. He's 3/10 quicker than his teammate, who is about to go and start a final flying lap.
Yeah, that is actually insane, Ricky. 3/10 quicker than Bruno Will at this point. Bruno Will. So, I mean, yeah, but look at Davizin, down to 11, championship contender. He needs to get a good lap again.
I think Davizin, we'll ride on board with Davizin, and then we'll take you through the on board through Monaco as we go through Saint-Devote there. You don't want to cut that curb too much because you will get your track and your lap invalidated, and then it's an uphill climb through Massenet, long sweeping left before the quick right of Casino, and you've got the Casinos on the inside there as you come down to Mirabeau. and he's improving by a tenth into the slowest corner on the Formula 1 calendar, the Lowe's hairpin. It's taken at 25 miles an hour there, you can see in the telemetry, and the bottom right through, I don't know what that turn is, but I think this is Portier into the tunnel, and then you're just getting underneath that hotel. So this is one of your fastest points in the circuit as well, into a really heavy braking zone. The sun shines right directly into your eyes there, so it is quite blinding coming out there. And Davison through to back as this. It looks like it's been a quick. Oh, it's purple. It's purple. Maldi. He's only tapped the wall on the outside of the swimming pool there into Raskas. He's only got this and Anthony Noggs left, so he's done Raskas quite well there. Small lock up in the front right though.
Here we go then. See what he's going to do. Only P7. So he did kind of mess it up there in closing stages of the lap. Danny's on a lap. Danny has gone P10. He's got a nudge to improve. So there you go, Rixie. Ham Jam 2002 gets the first pole position of the season here in Monaco. Could this be a dominant race for him here in Monaco? VC's on a lap, I think. Let's see what he's going to do, Rixie. He's going to be the only driver. I don't know how he's been able to actually get another lap in, but he's been doing up magic here in Monaco. P13. There's going to be a lingering VC around the back end of the top 10, high 11, 12, 13, high outside the top 10, but he's not shown what he's shown in the time trial event for the season. Before the season started, VC, he was the third quickest driver in the league, so he definitely should live up to that expectation. 13th place then going through Raskas, very hot braking. I use ABS there because I don't knock up. DRS down the straight there. Is this going to be a quicker lap time than he's already done? Yes, it is, and it's going to put him in P number 9. So that is P9 now for VC. It is hard. So Rixie, that is a very interesting qualifying competition for Ham Jam 2002. Second is Bruno Will. Third is Bullseye Rixie. Fourth is Daigoro. Fifth, Jam Ham. Sixth is Victor on his debut. Daigoro fourth on his debut. Seventh is Davison. Eighth is Billy WF. Ninth is VC. 10th is does it say? 11th is DJ Danny. 12th LOS Mercury. 13th is Kevin. 14th is Janine. 15th is Carl. 16th is Murray, and 17th is Pauls. So, Rixie, what was you going to say before Lee cut you off?
No, I was just gonna just emphasise that it's definitely showing that the momentum's way Ham Jam following his win, and there it is, Maldi. There is the rain that we were anticipating there. We heard Daigoro saying there was going to be a slight drizzle, when a slight drizzle's ended up in a bit of a downpour, so to speak. It does look quite heavy, so definitely a whole new set of challenges and criteria for the drivers to meet on the 39 laps of Monaco. But aye, Mercedes front row, Ferrari second, and I mean we've seen this battle at the start of the season in like Australia, Bahrain, Vietnam. It was always the two titans of Formula 1 fighting out for the win, and then it was quite quiet for a bit, and Mercedes had a bit of a stronghold coming into like tracks like China and the Netherlands, and then even Spain last time out, and now it's back to this close competitive rivalry that the two share. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how the team game is utilised as well, because Ham Jam and Bruno Will are on the front row. They've locked that out for the Silver Arrows, and you've got the Prancing Horses just in behind. So I'm very much looking forward to it. The start is going to be extremely tricky though, Maldi, as Ham Jam does get us underway on the formation.
Richie, sorry, I'm getting some really 2008 vibes here, because obviously.
Oh, you have left the session, Maldi. I'll invite you back in.
That's not very good. But anyway, as I was saying, you might have to do the restart. You might have to do the start the race. I don't know. Probably. But as I was saying, yeah, you're really giving me 2008 vibes, because obviously the rain and things, that was a big thing in 2008 race. So I think this is a very special race. I do hope so. I do hope that it does stop raining in the race, so we can actually, kind of have a race where the drivers are happy and motivated, because you're not really motivated to actually do a full wet race for the whole thing. I know I'm not very motivated to do that most of the time, so I think I'm back in the lobby now, really think that's good. But yeah, I think it's going to be an incredible race. What are your thoughts of this?
I'm definitely interested as well, because when you see wet races at Monaco in real life, like you said, 2008 was quite a big race for. Well, Lewis Hamilton had won it, even after having a puncture through the race, and he wasn't looking too sharp for most of it. 1996 as well has got a very it's a very unique record as well for the least amount of finishes in 4 when the weather was exactly like this, and before Pierre Gasly won in Monza, and before Pierre Gasly was a few weeks back, that was the last French winner, and Olivier Panis, so that record's been broken 24 years in the waiting. Let me know when you're actually in the session, Maldy, because that's Hamjam bringing the grid back to the start line.
It's a great strategy. So apparently it's going to be a full wet race for the pit strategy.
And Mari's left. We'll try and get a good camera angle to see everybody just lining up.
Okay then. Let's see. Who's going to win Monaco?
Oh, right. I don't know, but it'll be a first time winner.
I reckon Billy. Watch out for Billy. Everyone's going to crash Billy. Here we go. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights for the Monaco got through back after 2 seasons away. And Simon
You've left the session again, and it's Hamjam that leads the way. Sorry, Baldy, I'll just take over now. Bruno Will's going to try and get round the outside of Hamjam, but he doesn't make it work. Run there, the Ferrari Bullseye looking to try and get a wee lock in there. As we see Jamham already splitting the 2 Ferraris already with a strong start round the outside there. We'll try and filter through and see what else has been seen. The 2 Ferraris have been split, so bad start for the Prancing Horses. I think Billy's gone backwards as well. The Haas of seats up a few places there as well. He's just towing along behind the McLarens that everybody starts to try and filter in and try and find some place on the grid, on the track, sorry. But it is Hamjam that leads us out through the Lowe's hairpin, and everybody's gone 2by2 into the Lowe's hairpin here, and there's yellow flags out in the second sector. I don't know what that's for. I'll try and invite you back in once it kind of settles down again, Maldy.
I'm joining back.
We'll look at... Oh, that you? And looking at the front of the field's already split, Maldy. Like, there's a few gaps already breaking up at the front, and it was Bullseye that got the better start for the Ferrari. It's Daigoro it's gone backwards. He said he was too confident in the rain because he has a really day practice for the wet, and I think that's kind of taken its toll on his race start there, as well as he's lost a place to Jamham, who just seemed to get a really good start off his grid slot, and I think he just went round the outside of the Ferrari into turn 1 up the hill into Massonite, and he had the move already done halfway up the hill. Davison and Victor, the 2 Williams drivers, have swapped places as well off the start. No any real big winners, as you see Kyle already retiring as well, so Kyle was out of the race on the first lap of 39. Mari is in the pits, and DJ Danny, Kevin and Janino have all lost their place, but the big gainer off the start, Maldi, is RCX Hulks, who did start right at the back of the field, and he's already up into P12 and right behind LRS Mercury, so Hulks is really on a charge at this stage. He was last on the grid, and he was last to take his grid slot, so maybe that extra couple of degrees in temperature into his tyres has definitely helped his launch, and just keeping his nose out of trouble. We've seen him up a few places.
Yes, it's very, I don't know if I will disconnect again. I'm not currently at my house, so I'm not quite sure whether I will disconnect again. But Halsden, great start for him up in P12. He has lost a bit of time in that first sector. He did say that he doesn't feel confident. You know, we've got a lot of quick drivers in here. He's not the quickest around Monaco, he says. So, but he's definitely shown himself to be able to keep actually what he's putting in P12 in his racing for. Everything. I mean, Daigoro lost a bit of time.
Oh, sorry, Maldi, just to cut you off there. I was on board with Hulks as you were sitting talking about his race starting that C coming through to back into the first part of the swim pool, and he's into the pits. That was a bit I think that was a bit predictable there. He just got this big wiggle on. You could like the camera angle showed us the inside of the cockpit, and it was like through the side, so it was coming through to back, and he had a wiggle on the first part of the swimming pool, and you could just see him in his car, just like having to like aggressively throw the steering wheel about in the car just to make sure the car wasn't going to spin, and he slammed the wall on the outside. I'm assuming he did pick up some wing damage, as we see TJ Danny getting a slide on through Massenet as well. Drivers looking to me really struggling to find some grip in the early stages.
Oh, Briggsy, Jam Ham and Bullseye here now coming into Portier. Here we go, the Ham Boys are really pushing hot here in Monaco. Here we go down the tunnel, then it's going slipstream for Jam Ham. And is he going to try and get Bullseye into the no chicane? No, Bullseye there's going to defend position, but Jam Ham is looking quick, Briggsy. Here in Monaco, he's going to come in. Here we go. Down the, but you can't do anything. You can't get through. You cannot overtake easily at Monaco. And Bullseye here in P3 is playing very hard. But this is really up because we know we'll hit with the P2 gap 2.7 seconds to Bullseye.
And I can't see any damage on Bullseye's car either, unless it is like a small, like a tiny fragment of his front wing or like on the side of the end plates or whatever. Like, I don't think he's got any real sustainable damage on that car, so this is just his general pace at the moment, and he is holding Jam Ham up. So, and that's the thing as well, like there isn't really any overtaking area, like there isn't just like a dedicated, like this is an overtaking zone. You have to kind of really be patient and just sit and wait, bide your time. Jam Ham will probably keep pushing Bullseye, but Bullseye, if he wants to keep his P3, then he'll be using his ERS tactically as well, mainly off Portier, which we're just going through just now. So he'll most likely flip the engine to rich and punch the ERS button to make sure that Jam Ham isn't going to get close enough. Whereas Jam Ham, I'm on board with him. He wasn't really using his ERS down that straight and the Mobile chicane, so I don't think Jam Ham really is. I don't want to say he's no keen in making the move. Like, of course, like drivers want to try and like go up the field and try and chase the win. But I think Jam Ham's just sitting here trying to like be a bit more patient, just be wary of what Bullseye's driving like.
Yeah,
when
definitely.
He's through certain turns, and whether or not he's going to be fast on these straights, because that's the only way Bullseye's going to keep his place, is if he's just going to keep punching the ERS button off these slow turns onto the big straights, and that's where Jam Ham is going to struggle, and he might need to think about if Bullseye is extremely superb at his defending, then Jam Ham might need to look at the pit strategy to try and make the move.
Battle going on here, Briggsy. The Mercedes boys, 1-2 at the moment, 8 seconds to gap it with them, literally gain 5 seconds. But I think that Briggsy is because Bruno Will has been got the RS. And I don't think Hamilton has even pressed that button yet, so he is really trying to save that ERS, probably out of the tunnel and into the first corner spot. So I think this race Briggsy is going to be so interesting. That for P1, that for P3, battle for the final point. So I think it's going to be a very interesting race. Zitzi then, P10. This is how he could start with it, and then now to attack VC here into the chicane. No, he's not gonna go for any stupid moves. Keep it nice and consistent. Yeah, but Daigoro here really struggling in the back end coming out of the swimming pool section, and coming to West Cap, really struggling with the back end.
He's out of the pits. The Ferraris. Oh, and Jam Ham's made a move on Bullseye. Valde, sorry just to cut you off there, and the yellow flags are for sector 3, and that's for Daigoro. Daigoro's retired. I don't know why that is, we didn't really see, but both Ferraris, they just look really twitchy, like they don't look stable in these conditions. Like, of course, like drivers will be trying to opt for the most downforce and stability possible on the car, but just seeing the Ferraris, like they just kind of look like they're just skating rather than driving, if that makes sense.
They really
look like they're sliding.
Hose is out, what happened to Hose? He crashed it within the pit lane.
He's in the pits, he's retired in the pit lane, so after what was a lightning start for the racing point, both of them have both cars are back in the garage after only 6 laps are running, which is not going to be a strong result or strong showing for the team in any capacity. So they'll definitely be hoping to look to improve on that in Baku in a week's time.
That's a good circuit, that is. I like Baku. Anyway, lap 6 for XT off the Monaco Grand Prix, and Bruno will got that gap down now to 7 tenths.
And like, he is just kind of biding. I think it really is just going to be a matter of biding the time. But one thing that I'll be quite interested in as we see Billy WF come out of the pits there on the timing screens on the left hand side, is that if Jamham can like exercise his speed through the clean air that he's got now. He's got a 6-second gap to the two Mercedes in front who are running line and stern through the Maribel as we speak. But Jamham's already like just slowly creeping into that lead that they've got. It was 6 seconds. It was 5.8. He is gaining like a wee 10 for 2 here or there. So it'll be interesting to see how quick Jamham can maybe try and close this gap. But you can just see already, Maldy, Bullseye is 2.2 seconds behind Jamham. It just really shows the massive difference in pace and confidence as well. Confidence is going to be so monumental to these drivers, because if you've not got the confidence to throw the car into Tabac or into San Devota and through Maribor or whatever, then you're going to lose time. And I think that just might be what it is for Ferrari. It might just be the fact that they don't feel that they've got the car underneath them, and that's why we're seeing Bullseye just gliding along. It's not so much a wet track, it's a nice rink for him, so it looks.
Nice rink. But no, recently, Jamham's got some decent pace here. He's closed in about 6 tenths that lap. He's pushing hard here in Monaco. And Bruno Will is still going hard, but Davison needs to get past Bullseye here quickly, because Davison cannot afford to lose too many points over Bruno Will. It's still a championship battle. I don't really think he's got pace compared to the front runners here in Monaco.
Davison as well. Was there really somebody we didn't expect to see him that far down? Like he qualified 7th. Did he qualify? Was it 7th or was it 6th? It was one of them. It was 7th. He qualified 7th, which is a bit unusual for him given his track record in the STB season so far. So it will be key for him to get by Bullseye, who's just dropping like a stain. I don't know if it's just Jamham's like absolutely on the pace right now, or Bullseye's just getting nothing. Because he's just slowly drifting backwards. And the more that the Ferrari's going to sit in front of the Williams, then the harder it's going to be for Davison to actually get to
Sorry, I'm actually kind of confused. Danny now is past Mercury. Kevin's going to try and have a go now at the Alfa Romeo driver. But I'm really confused because I think Jamham has literally gained maybe a second on this lap alone.
He is definitely on the pace. He is looking extremely quick at this stage, Maldale. He's actually he's nearly closer to Bruno Will as he was to Bullseye, and that's only been 2 laps, maybe 3. It is absolutely, in fairness, he's still got a lot of his ERS at his disposal as well. He's got 83% in the tank, and he's 3.9 seconds behind Bruno Will. Both the Mercedes drivers don't really see a need to use the energy system, so they've both got 95 to 100%. So Jamham really is doing everything he can to try and close the gap down, but I'm assuming once he gets in touching distance of the Mercedes drivers in front, which you can see there, going at the chicane, that's when the Mercedes drivers will start kind of putting the foot in a wee bit. They're just
they got
on cruise control.
They seem really slow in the second sector compared to Jamham.
Jam, I can't see any damage on that front wing. Bruno Will is the same. Again, it might be that same small fragment that we don't actually see on the front wing. It's literally like a wee like the tiniest wee bit of carbon fibre that can ruin your downforce, can ruin your setup, and even ruin the strategy as well if it has a big part to play in your lap time. But I don't really know, Maldy. I think the Mercedes I think they're just playing the smart game now. I think they're not really too fixated on trying to like pump in some good laps. They're just wanting to keep the car in one piece, and they'll just deal with Jam Ham as and when the time comes. Because he has the eaten into that gap as much as he was just a few laps ago. It is still 3.5, but you can still see them. Like, if you can see the driver in front, that's going to act as a big motivation for you when you're chasing somebody. I'd much rather be chasing somebody than be chased when I'm driving. So it really is just a matter of, I think the race will really kind of kick up, and we'll see Mercedes react once Jam Ham becomes maybe an imminent threat. Like, I'm not saying he's no, but right now, I think he is really a cause for concern for the Mercedes drivers. Once that gap hits 1.5, if he halves it, then that will be
Steve. Well, look at how much time he gains in the second sector. He's literally just gained like 4 or 5 tenths.
There must be some like second level confidence in the Haas driver through there. I don't really know how else to explain that, because
it's halfway.
Richie.
His last lap was 23.5. The winner was 24.1. He's 6 tenths past that lap alone on Bruno Wilberg. That down to 2.6 seconds now. This is insane from Jam Ham.
I don't really know, like, cause see, in terms of your race setup, like you have the choice of setting your front wing and rear wing heights. You have the angles as well for your front wing. You've got your differential. You've got your on and off throttle. You've got like so many variables to play with your setup. I'm really intrigued to find out what he's changed to make him quick through the second sector, because the first and third sectors only really big gains, but it's all in the second sector. Like you say, like that gap just gets cut. Like, he literally takes a big chunk at a time out. Like, you see it at 1.9 right now, and that's it. Like, I mean, it was up at like 2.2, and now it's 1.7. Like, there is definitely time, and you can see him you can see Bruno Will in the distance there through the midst of the spray as we ride on board with Jam Ham into Saint Devote. Like, I think this is the kind of time that Mercedes will be kind of pressing, not like the panic button per se, but they'll be like, right, put ourselves on alert and be sure to keep Jam Ham behind. I think that's definitely the stage of it, because Jam Ham is definitely the fastest out of the three at this moment in time.
Yes, Mercury then has lost P9 with to Kevin. He's not really showing the pace around this circuit, and he's struggling. Down in P10 now. Yeah, really, this is insane from the Jam Ham. 1.8 seconds the gap. Actually, I think 3-4 laps ago was 4 seconds. Insane from him. Covers in, and he's keeping up with Bullseye, and Victor is quite close behind them as well. So Victor's looking quite quick. In Monaco, on the stadium.
I mean, that's the strong thing as well for the Division 2, Tier 2 drivers in STB, is they're getting a wee practice session, and essentially, obviously, of course, they're going to treat it like a race because they want to try and impress the STB community. But it is definitely going to be valuable intel for them going into their race tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. When Tier 2 race. We've also got I've also got some chat action Malday as well. Like, we've got Amico in the chat saying Monaco's always been one of Jam's best tracks. It's surprising he's gaining it's surprising the big chunks of time he's gaining though. I mean, it really is, because like, again, it's through sector 2. He's so confident through the tunnel into the Nouvelle Chicane and into Tabac. Like, that's where the times are really getting. That's when the time really starts getting slashed. And I mean, of course, we're not really going to see two.
Absolutely executed. Like, literally. Just get. Oh, I don't even know. He's rapid today. If he don't win this race, I will be fuming.
I'm not too sure when. I'm assuming with the intermediates as well that the pit window will be around the halfway
19
point of the
seconds
race, but
ago.
laps 16 to 19. Laps 16 to 19. If you want to try and get an undercut, it'd be about laps 16, 17. But if you want to try and go for the like the kind of optimal, it would be like smack bang in the middle. Lap 19 laps on one set and there's 20 laps on the next. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how they accommodate pit strategy.
Definitely. Maybe the rain might ease up. I don't know. Maybe we will go to slick. Who knows? Anything can happen.
Exactly.
It looks like we'd see Jamham. He's now 1.2 seconds. He's staying at that now. He's not really gaining too much compared to what he was. But he is gaining still. So special battle we'd see. I mean, three of our best drivers here in the league, and I thought Bruno was going to be inside of Hamilton, but it was the AI of Mari. So Mari's out of the race. Not a good race, but I'm sure he'll be back in as a body champion to show us what he's made of.
Definitely, there's always plenty of room to improve and demonstrate your skills in the STB league. There's so many races left in the season. It is definitely not all done and dusted at the one circuit. So, I mean, Monaco inevitably is going to claim some victims with the close walls and the proximity of the track as well. Like, there's very little room for error. There's very little breathing room as well. Like, you kind of feel almost like you're claustrophobic on the track as well, because there's no really much space to like utilize your car performance as well. So like, you're really just kind of having to stick with the main racing line. There's no any real scope for overtaking. There's no any real opportunity to try and like make a move on the track. It's going to be done through the pit lane if you're really going to try and overtake. It's one of the very few circuits that strategy probably is more important, but track position is king. Qualifying was extremely important here.
Pit lane, changing the front wings. Looks like he had a bit of damage there. See that?
It's really going to hurt Davison in the long run as well. Like, of course, like, there was damage. Like, you don't want to lose your lap time to the damage, but at the same time, pitting on lap 15 for your one and only stop when there's still another 24 laps to go, you're really gonna be on. I mean, in fairness again as well, track position is really important, and we've seen time and time again in Monaco that if you just make your car big enough, they can't get by you. So it really is just going to be a matter of how well you defend, because like, the only way drivers will really get by is if there's a mistake. Like, I very much doubt if there's going to be much overtaking here, especially in the wet conditions. In the dry, it would have been a bit promising into Saint Devote or into the chicane and on the exit of the tunnel, but see, because it's so wet, like, you don't want to risk an unnecessary move and pick up damage or take somebody out or whatever. So I think most drivers will just be playing it safe, if anything. And I think that's exactly what everybody is doing. I've not seen any brave moves or throwing stuff to the wall and hoping it sticks kind of mentalities on the grid. It's just been very much keep the car at the wall, keep the car facing the right way, and just manage the tyres as well. And I think everybody's just kind of living under the same motto at the minute. We're all under the one umbrella.
Well, Jamham see now, the gap is 6 tenths. I think he backed off for a few laps, and now he's back onto his normal pace now. He's ripping into that gap now with Bruno Will and Hamjam. But as you said, Riggs, it's very difficult to overtake, so I'm really interested to see how Jamham deals with this, because he has got some enormous pace advantage over Bruno Will and Hamjam at the moment. And I'm sure that he's wanting to get past, but it's so difficult with him to overtake around the circuit. Obviously, there's only, I would say, about 2 or 3 overtaking opportunities around this track, so I mean, it's very difficult, but I'm really rooting for Jamham here for the victory.
And the other thing is, excuse me, the other thing as well, Maldy, is these next couple of laps are going to be extremely interesting, because that's the kind of thing as well. Like, if you're the driver, if you're Jamham, or if you're Bruno Wilt, or if you're Hamjam, if you're any of the top 3, what do you do at this point? Do you try and prevent an undercut, or if you're ham jam, do you try and prevent an undercut and pit early, or if you're jam ham, do you pit this lap and try and get an undercut and try and utilise the clean air? It is roughly about a 20-second stop, so
Ham Jam will have priority over Mercedes. He's the leading car, so he's going to have priority in the pit stops.
Definitely. Ham Jam will have the right of way into the Mercedes pit lane, into the pit garage, sorry. But Jam Ham doesn't have his teammate nearby to cause any inconveniences in the pit lane. Bruno will really need to be a bit, like, he'll need to be switched on when it comes to the exit of Raskas just to see what his teammate does, because like he might be in a position where he'll be thinking like, I'll do what my teammate does today, I'll do the opposite of him, and it'll be interesting to see if any of them actually even make an attempt into the pit lane. And they all opt to stay out for another lap, so they're definitely gone for another lap yet. So I mean, that's the kind of thing as well, when you're looking at the leader intervals, Maori, it is about a 20-second stop, so you should be coming out just behind Victor, and you should be making it out just in front of DJ Danny, so they will have a bit of clean air to play with, so that will be kind of sitting on the mind as well. The last thing they want is to be brought back out in traffic, but I think all three of them are going to be safe enough to come out in front of the 6th place Alfa Romeo driver.
Yeah, I think Bruno Will here is struggling quite a lot. I think he's not displayed, like, we think originally Bruno was positioning to win the race, because obviously he is a phenomenal driver. But he's not really showing that here in Monaco. I'm not trying to, be horrible, but he's not showing the same pace and the same consistency as he has in previous races. Now he's 4/10, the gap's 4/10, really feeling the pressure here. I think there'll be a pit stop time for Bruno Will.
He's building a gap to his teammate in front as well. It's 1.4 split into two teammates at the front, so this will really be a matter of Bruno Will no coming in again. Ham Jam's choosing to stay out, Jam Ham's choosing to stay out as well. I think the two brothers are really confident with their tyre wear. It looks to be Bruno Will that is struggling, and we very rarely see Bruno Will in a position where we always see, like, he's never...
Sorry, Billy's getting quite feisty here with these two. They started by the side of one of his forecourts, yeah. Very feisty indeed for the McLaren. The inside wall there, anyway.
He was looking up. PC was looking up there into the chicane there as well. Owen Mercury's hit the wall at the back, and he's picked up some damage. And DJ Danny's on the mediums, Maldi. It stopped raining! It stopped raining!
DJ Danny, on me, I don't know if that's going to work. The track's still quite wet. You can still see the spray off the tyres.
I'm on board with Davies in a 9th, and he's got Janino and Cisse in front, and they're kicking up so much spray with their intermediates. Then I think the mediums is brave. It is definitely brave, and his teammate Mercury is coming in and following suit as well. Is this the right way to go? I think it's still way too early.
Strategy here for Alfa Romeo.
I
don't think it is.
Oh, and we've got Cisse's tapped. Cisse tapped Janino into the braking, into the chicane, exit the tunnel. And that's the kind of thing, Maldi. That's one thing I've not really noticed. I didn't really notice the rain slowly fizzling out. Like, it stopped raining, but there's still so much spray being kicked up, and there isn't a dominating dry line on the track just yet. Is the mediums the right way to go? What's it looking like for DJ Danny and Mercury right now? DJ Danny is getting no traction on the exit of the Nouvelle chicane.
Yeah, it's not been the right call, but I think they're just kind of like not giving up. They kind of lost hope in this race. They wanted to go for a little strategy change, because obviously Mercury got damaged, Danny was down in the pack, so.
And I do apologise. I've got a really bad throat for some reason. So if you hear like a wee kind of crackle, it's me. So don't worry if your audio's a bit faulty. That's just me. But like like, I'm just looking as well, Maldy, like, I don't really know, like, I'm quite conflicted on what the strategy's going to be. Everybody is just going to stay out in the intermediates until Jeff comes across the radio and says, right, it's time to go out to the slick tyres, and I think that's what everybody's waiting on, so it's not really a matter of cut onto another set of intermediates or trying to get an undercut, overcut or whatever suits. It's all about judging the strategy call and the tyre call, because the dry line is slowly coming into show here.
This one yellow flag.
Yellow flag.
Mercury's
Yellow
crash.
flag. Oh, and it's
Williams is off as well. What's going on here?
It's Mercury and Victor. Victor was in 5th. I don't know what happened there. I just seen the yellow flags out in 2 cars. It's San Devot. It's a VSC. It's a VSC.
It's a crash.
It's the first VSC. I think Mercury crashed at turn 1 and Victor's picked up some damage somewhere as well, so I don't exactly know why, but that's not going to do his race any favour as well, especially considering that he was right behind Bullseye, and that's just gave Bullseye that bit more breathing room. Bullseye's just going to run his own race, like, he's 15 seconds
I'm a
behind
little bit
this guy.
confused really. I don't know what happened with Mercury, because he was just in the barrier at San Devot.
Oh, that's... Oh, sorry, Marty. That's another thing to consider as well, right? So, if the dry tyres are going to be an option at any point in this race, because it has stopped raining, the more the drivers go around the track, the more they rubber it in, the more they kind of clear the water off the main racing line. Yellow flags in Sector 2, it looks to be for Trevino. The more the drivers clear the track, clear the puddles of water and standing water and everything else, Bruno Will can end up being... Bruno Will can end up being caught out big time here if
Victor's in the pit.
if the radio with some plenty of pit lane action.
That's
Actually,
off.
we've got plenty of people in the pits.
That's
Oh.
off. Bullseye is on a set of intermediate, so he's gone for another set there of inters. Zitzi is on a set of intermediate as well, changing his front wing. We're all going to intermediates, we said. So is that the right call here in Monaco?
I mean, we can only wait and see. I think time will tell. CC picks up a penalty for crossing the pit exit line. But that's the kind of thing as well, like if both Mercedes drivers come in for dry tyres, Bruno Will's going to get held up big time and he's going to lose it to Jamham. And Jamham's lost like 6 seconds on the back of the 2 Mercedes drivers. He's just lost all the time. Bruno Will's into the pits. I think
What's going on? Jamham.
He's so far behind. He was so far behind. I don't know what happened there. I can't see any damage on the cut. I've got really bad case of hiccups as well. Everything's just gone wrong with my throat. So
Let's see what he's going to go on. He's going to go on to set intermediate.
That is interesting. That is interesting because drivers are thinking it's dry enough for this. People are coming in thinking it's dry enough for some slick tyres. Others are coming in for a fresh set of inters. And I think if I'm going to have to weigh in an opinion, I think it would be the intermediates that would have the edge. Mainly because the track, it isn't exactly wet, it's not exactly dry either. It just looks to be quite greasy, if I'm being honest. Like, it just doesn't look like it's got any grip. It's neither here nor there. And I think that's DJ Danny causing the yellow flags in Sector 2 at the chicane once again. And I think that might just be under braking. So Hamjam did a wee bit of rally cross out of the pits as well. So we'll jump on board with Bruno Will, and this would be Bruno Will. Is he going to get
Hamjam? He's stopped. He's stationary in the pit lane there, Richie.
Bruno Will's just coming out the final corner and he's going to get by. He's going to get by his teammate and he's going to take the lead of the race. And Bruno Will, the undercut is so strong. As you see, Hamjam just
No,
took a
Rixie,
couple of
I
tyres.
think Ham Jam was station pits. I think he had a stop and go. I don't know.
So they done absolutely zero work to his car in that pit stop. Like they done like 5 seconds and no work, and then just get straight to it because he's lost all the time to his
Well, he
teammate.
doesn't say anything about him having a penalty, but he was stationary for a very long time in the pit lane.
I can't remember seeing his name coming up for a penalty, so I think
I
he's.
don't know. Yeah. I mean, I've no idea what happened there, but the gap 7.5 seconds now. You can absolutely human.
Definitely, that's definitely not going to be sitting well with him because he's been in so much control of this race. He'd led. He's tapped the one. He's spun. He's clipped the inside wall at the chicane. Hamjam with the chicane.
Oh, Hamjam has messed up his chances here in Monaco, hasn't he?
It's just the race on the space of 2 laps is completely turned on its head for him because we were riding on the broadcast camera as he came out through the tunnel and into the Nouvelle chicane, and it just looked to me, Maldy, he did turn in. He turned in for the chicane normal as you would any other line you would take. It was just a standard line into it, and I think his rear left just clipped the inside wall and just sent him into a spin, and I think that's just pretty much what it was. Fortunately, still got all 4 wheels on the car and no damage sustained, but that's let his brother past. So is Jamham going to show us the same pace as he had in the first stint? Is he going to try and close that 8-second gap down?
A bit of damage from
we'll
VC, I think that is Rixie, sorry. There's a bit of damage from VC, I don't know, is it damage? I can't see any, but Billy and VC were just quite close to each other down the pitch straight. They were just, it looked like they had a bit of contact on my end. Yeah, Rixie, the gaps have definitely calmed themselves down now. 8 seconds is the gap between Jamham and Bruno Will. But it's really unfortunate for Hamjam. He definitely had the pace there for victory. Let it in the bag really, but it's going to be difficult.
It really was. I'm honestly surprised more than anything else why he didn't exercise his right as the lead Mercedes driver to come in first. I'm really confused by that. And then he had his mistake coming out into the chicane on the exit of the tunnel, and it just kind of went pear-shaped through there. I mean, he is still running third, so he's got a 9.3 second gap to Davison as well, so he's not got any pressure behind. Everybody is kind of running their own race at this point, as the gaps are a bit more sporadic. See DJ Danny back into the pits. So this is the kind of quiet phase of the race where nothing really seems to be happening. I think the gaps, of course, will close up once we get into the final stages, like the squeaky bum time of the race. But for now, it just seems to be a mellowed phase where everybody's just kind of want to manage their tyres, manage their ERS, keep the fuel levels optimum, and just make sure they don't have any real mistakes or catastrophic errors. So, and that's the kind of thing as well. There's still 13 laps left in this race, so it's a matter of really whether it does dry up enough for slick tyres, because we've seen a few drivers chancing their arm on it. So I definitely wouldn't be too surprised if we see some more drivers trying it near the end. But if there's one thing that's definitely surprised me, Maldy, is the fact that, and I'm hoping I'm not throwing the jinx out there, but there's been no full course safety car in this race so far.
I bet you've just jinxed it now, Brucey. There's going to be a safety car.
Definitely.
In like 2 minutes now.
The commentator's curse has just been thrown out there, and I think a full safety car would definitely shake up the order, because these gaps are like they're quite big, so we're not going to see any real wheel-to-wheel action, any real pressure on that. This is just the kind of time we were saying. This is the kind of time of the race where it is just a bit phased out, it's quiet. Everybody is just wanting to manage what they've got. But if a safety car was to kind of throw that into play, it gives them their management of their car, like their fuel, tyres, ERS, like everything that they manage in the cockpit of the car. It gives them the chance to manage that under safety car conditions, and then it bunches the pack back up. And then instead of having these big gaps, it's just going to be one big train. And I mean, I'm hoping nobody causes a safety car. Like, of course, I want to see everybody that's still running to finish. Like, but a safety car would definitely throw. I think it would just throw more than a span on the works. I think that just throw the full toolbox in there.
Definitely, I think we should just, just throw in the safety car, like no crashes. Safety car, a broken drag cover or something on the pit lane then for Billy and Zitzi. Are they going to go on the set of slicks? Yes, they are. Here we go then. Set in third. Sorry, that was lying to you there. Billy is on the soft, I believe. Is that correct?
As indeed, yep, he is on a set of soft tyres. We'll see how he. I'm on board with him now, so we'll see how he does the first couple of corners on the slick tyres. I'm on board with him now. Oh, and he's already lost it up the hill.
Oh, he's done a Ruben Barrichello there.
It's definitely
flag safety car. Come on, safety car.
The car's just understeering. It's just understeering. It's like he's driving a boat. And he's got Bruno Will coming up behind as well.
God, this is not
the
going
race
to be
leader
very
right
gap
behind.
should be coming down as well, we see. Between Bruno Will and Jamhouse. Good.
And I think both the Jamham and Hamjam brothers are they are closing the gap to Bruno Will. Like, both of them are really on a charge. Hamjam had just recently put in the fastest lap into the 121s. So Bruno Will, I think, might just be managing what he's got. I think Murray Walker used to always say catching up with somebody is one thing and overtaking's quite the other. So, and that does they speak true here. Oh, and Billy's away again. Billy's away again on the soft tyres. It's the fact that the soft tyres just don't have the heat in them to create the grip that they need to get through these turns, and the fact that Monaco is just so slow. It's so many.
Oh,
he's just damaging.
On the wall there. That defo safety car there. That is definitely safe. That was debris on the track then, we see.
There is.
Oh.
When it rains, it pours. When it rains, it pours indeed. And, like, I mean, you sit and think that, what do you do if you're a driver? Do you sit and I think that's Davison just hit the wall there as well. Davison's got damage again, Maldy. So we've seen Bullseye catching up. This is the closest battle we've got on track at the moment, as we've seen Mecca penalty to try and keep the penalty conversation to a minimum. But we've got Bullseye under a second now to Davison in front. And I mean, Bullseye as well has just really been a matter of. He's just had a really quiet race. Like,
yeah, he's just kept tired.
Very much. He's been very, uninterrupted, so to speak, for a lack of a better word. But like, he's just had one of the races, as we've seen Mercury time for the decision in the pit lane. It's definitely not been a race to write home about for the Alfa Romeo driver, as he's calling it early. But I think.
Well, I mean, you'd really expect these sort of gaps in Monaco, obviously.
I think it really has just been a race of attrition of sorts, because it means the drivers have had to. I think really the winner in the top results are going to be who's come in the pit lane the least, because you're going to pick up damage. Danny's got a 10-second penalty for corner cutting, and I mean, I don't really know where he's cut to get that. It looks to me that when he's tapped the wall, that's Bullseye tapping the wall there as well. So
I think Danny's gonna be
penalties.
retiring here.
Danny is just really Alfa
Yeah, I think he's
Romeo
gonna retire out of the
Danny
race.
is in the pits as well, and that's it there, Maldi. You pretty much hit the nail on the head there.
I call it Danny's
side kick, Maldi.
There you go.
Mystic Maldi.
Yeah. I know everything. Repeat any words about that.
Oh, and Billy's left. And Billy's left.
I mean, you'd really expect this though at Monaco. Amount of retirements. You would expect it at Monaco.
Yeah, definitely. I don't expect. I mean, again, I speak with the utmost respect and a professional opinion, but like there is always going to be retirements in Monaco. Like when you look at real life as well, Maldi. Like I'm sure there's like, see for all the Formula One races there's been from 1950 to the current day. Like every driver is finished in only like. I don't even think it's more than 10 occasions. Like it's very rare you see every driver finishing a race, and to see retirements here in Monaco is it's unsurprising really. And again, you say that with respect and a professional opinion. Like it is just one of the tracks that are going to catch. It's going to catch somebody at some point.
Yeah, I just think basically it's I mean, Monaco's not really been a racing circuit, more of a prestige circuit, really. But I mean, Bullseye closing in. Let's watch this battle race. Let's see what's going to happen.
Oh, he is just pushing Davison along here. Davison does have some damage on that castle. Bullseye will need to be wary of making a move, but if Davison's going to just punch out of here, push the ERS button as early as he can, then I don't see Bullseye getting a move. And then like, you can just see it there, Maldi, like, because Davison's the driver in front, he gets such a better drive off the exit. And Bullseye always closes up in the braking. Like, what else do you really need to do? Like, you just need to keep pushing him into a mistake, as Bullseye does get a bit of a wiggle on the exit of the chicane. Like, we've got to have like Bullseye really needs to make a lunge of some kind or have a really strong run, and he is just tapping down at this point. He is close enough here. If he can get on the throttle early, punch the ERS button, which he's just choosing not to do until right he says that. I say that and then he does it right there. But Davison's got a lot of ERS to play with as well, so this battle might go all the way to the flag. And we've got a battle between the two brothers as well, as they are 6/10 apart.
I think Bruno will. I mean, he hasn't really had the pace. Like if you looked at the first stint of the race, Bruno did not have the pace compared to Hamdan for victory. So, I mean, credit to Bruno Will, but I don't think he deserves the victory. I need to know what happened to Hamdan and Jamhan. They've been really strong in this race, and they're just not given the opportunity to repeat their good race from Spain.
It's definitely, that's just been like, I mean, trying not to take credit away from Bruno Will. He made the stop when he had to. He's got the gap when he needed to. He's kind of done everything strategically right. But when you look at Jamham, who's had just rapid pace, catching up to the two Mercedes after being stuck in Bullseye for a while at the start, caught up to the front runners, and he's managed to get a P2 for 5th on the grid. Well, I mean, he is sitting P2 on that, and Hamjam, who's led the majority, like the whole of the first stint, and lost it massively due to a pit error or a penalty that we were unaware about, just really shows how much luck, in a sense. I mean, again, you don't want to like downplay Will's drive, but
Bordog's getting close now. He's tapping Davison in the first section. We don't have the exit.
Oh,
here we go into Mirror Boat.
Oh, up the inside. Davison just lets him go. Davison just lets him go. And I think that's a wise move there for Davison just to let him go. He kens the damage. Kens Bullseye's quicker. I mean, Bullseye, I don't think Bullseye's, other than then, Bullseye's just ran fourth the majority of this race. Like, he's not really been anywhere else. Like,
Yeah,
I think he started P4 as well. Oh no, he started third, so he's been doing a place, but I mean, I don't think he would complain about fourth place at the end of the day, especially given that that is Monaco.
Yeah, he's been really consistent today. He's actually been really consistent. So
100%.
as you
when
mentioned,
it comes
a
to
penalty, it said, so that's not very good.
and FNT Kevin pushing Davison along as well. Is Kevin going to try and make a move into Sandevoort?
He's not good for his championship.
I think Davison's just letting him go, Maldi. He just kind of peeled off to the left and let Kevin through. Quite content because there is a 26-second gap to his teammate in 7th, so he's got all the time in the world just to cruise home and bring the car to the checkered flag. So he definitely has plenty of room, and I think at the end of the day, Davison hasn't really been hitting the nail on the head this race. I mean, Bruno Wilty is leading, but I mean, it has to an extent it was kind of locked into it. Jamham's in. Jamham's in at the pits.
Victor's in the pit
damage.
lane, Richie. Victor's in the pit lane, P7.
Dry
Hamjam's in, here
tyres,
we go then.
Maldi. Is it dry tyre time? Final 3 laps, sprint to the finish. Jam's on the softs. Jam is on the soft tyres into the pit
It's a
lane.
long strategy call in floating stages of the Monaco Grand Prix.
It's definitely looking to be the driest it's been, so you never know. If Jamham can get the tyres up to temperature quick and get them into the window, he can probably reel in Bruno well if he's caught napping here. I'm watching Hamjam just going through the Nouvelle Chicane, not the Nouvelle Chicane, I keep saying that's the Nouvelle Chicane, into the close hairpin and through Portier. Like, he's just not got any confidence. The track is the driest it's been, so I switched to soft, sprint to the finish. Wouldn't he surprise me? Definitely no. It is just up to Bruno Will whether he'll pit or no, or he'll just stay out for track position. But if Jamham catches, it's a different story. Is Bruno Will going to come in to try and cover that?
No, not going to come in.
Is Hamjam going to come in to cover up his brother? He's staying out too. Oh, and Jamham is on it, Maldi. He is having a wee slide through the swimming pool though, but he is absolutely on it. Is they 100%, but I'd say it looks to be like about a solid 80 because it is definitely pace here in the soft tyres as well. So I don't think Jamham will close down the 16-second gap to his brother, but I feel like if the two Mercedes drivers want to go in the softs just to completely cancel out Jam's advantage, then I think they're a bit late now.
Yeah, I mean the grip is not very good. I mean, Briggsy, Jamham could catch here. He actually could. I know there's 3 laps to go, but he is 2 seconds in sector at the minute.
Definitely. Look, I'm just watching the Delta as well, Maldi. The Delta is just getting absolutely blunt to bits here because it's just coming down. It is just rapid pace. See the soft tyres. That's the thing as well though. The dry tyres. That's the fastest lap there. The fastest lap was a 120. In racing conditions though, in the dry tyres, you're kind of looking to set a low one, like a mid 110, low 110. There it is there. Victor's 1:18.1. There's the kind of lap times we're starting to expect. Is Jamham or Bruno Will going to come in? They're just choosing to stay out, and I think that is quite wise as well, just to kind of
9
maintain
seconds now to the Hamjam.
And I'm trying to find out who to sit on board with. I'm on board with Kevin because he's still on the inters, and it's the closest battle on the grid at the minute. It's watching Bullseye just darting away in through the armcores into the distance, the 1.6 second gap. I don't think. I mean, I think Jamham and the drivers on the softs have just kind of decided just they sort of a bit different, just throwing the softs to see if they go for fastest lap. I think that's mainly what it is that they've done. I don't. I think Jam could still get second though. I think his brother won't really put up too much resistance.
It's unfortunate though, Ritzy, because the Jamham, at least one of the Jamham brothers, are, they do deserve the victory here today. I don't know what happened in the pit lane, it's so unfortunate.
That's definitely just ripped him right out of contention. And you'll be sitting thinking why.
Seconds.
So I'm just watching. I'm on board with Jamham now. As you can see, his brother just there in front as he is 1.4 seconds. I think Jamham will just get he'll just get the traction on the exit of the tunnel. On the exit of Portier, sorry, and he'll get him through the tunnel. You can just see him nudging Jam along, and I think this will just be easy pickings for Jam. Haas versus Mercedes. There you go. He's not even in the tunnel. He's already made the move. He's not even in the tunnel. He's already made the move. Maldi.
It's unfortunate. I mean, if there was like 41 laps around this track, then Jamham would have won this race. Like, it's that insane. 5 seconds is the gap
Definitely.
now. So unfortunate.
1 mil lap, Maldi. 1 mil lap, and it would have probably been his.
Bruno will then is going to come across the final corner. Will come around the final corner, and he is going to win the Monaco Grand Prix here in Monte Carlo. Second is Jamham. 2 seconds is the gap. Third is Jam. Fourth will be Bullseye. He's all the way coming into the tunnel, Rita. This is insane. But Kevin, he's on the back of it now. This is insane. Here we go.
Are we going to see a late lunge to the Red Bull? Nah. Oh, no,
But Victor is on. Sorry, Davidson is on soft. Here we go.
This could be Davidson's for the taking.
He's on the soft compound side, would say.
I did not know that either, to be honest, Maldi. I don't think he'll get bullseye, but he's just pushing Kevin along, and Kevin's doing everything that he needs to do. Davidson's looking this way and that. Davidson's up the inside.
Davidson's up the inside of his fellow countryman, Kevin, and he's done it. What a move there. P4 will be bullseye. P5 will be Kevin in the end. 6 will be Davidson. 7 is going to be Victor. 8th is DC. 9th is Junior. 10th is Zixi. 11th, Billy. 12th is Nova. I think Zixi's not in the lobby no more, so I don't think he will get those points. But Rixie, what an escalate into that Monaco Grand Prix.
Definitely, I thoroughly enjoyed that, and it's the same thing again, Maldi. It's so agonising to think that if there was, like you said, if there was 40 laps, Jamham could have been looking at his first win, and like imagine just the 40 back-to-back, brother. Like Jam won for the first time last time out in Spain. Jamham done it here. I mean, quite a record as well in itself in STB, but I mean, I think it's still a driver of the day performance for me.
Jamham definitely. A unique podium there.
Definitely, the top 3 have just been. The top 3 have just been a class of pair, in my honest opinion. They've just been untouchable at the front.
Honestly,
we've been saying in the chat.
That wasn't a very bad. That wasn't actually a bad race.
Definitely no.
Monaco.
And we've got Amico saying in the chat as well. 1 mile lap indeed. And I think we could have been looking at a very, well, not a very different podium, but we could have probably seen a Haas on the top step rather than a Mercedes. Just Jam will be thinking, what if it just dried up that extra minute earlier? He would have come in that 1 lap earlier. It definitely could have been. It's a matter of what could have been for him, but a strong P2 for 5th on the grid is definitely.
Who said that?
Amico's got it in the chat. Amico's asked. Amico says, "I'm being told Bruno was a 5-second penalty for this race from last week." I don't actually. I mean, honestly, I don't actually keep up to date with the penalties. Like, I'll just leave the stewards to that. Hopefully,
I'm not quite sure actually.
we can find out anyway.
To
But
see.
your final results there.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
As well. So, we'll lock on that, Amico. We'll make sure we'll get a final clarification on that. I honestly have zero idea. See if we can get a Horia a success.
He cannot be with us, but I'm sure he's happy with his crossing the line in first. Bullseye, I'm going to give you a quick question and then you can leave. Quite a quiet race. How you quite satisfied because he wasn't very happy coming into this Grand Prix.
Actually, I'm quite happy because I only did 20 minutes of practice before. I crashed. I had to repair my front wing, which was a bit shit. But except from that, and Jamham was behind me, and my controller fell off my table, so the controller started steering as well as my steering wheel. So I went like to the right. So I had to press pause, so he got past me. I don't know if you crashed or not. So if I'm sorry if you did or whatever, but I don't think he did. Got ghosted in time.
Okay, well, Bullseye, well done, and we wish you luck next week in Azerbaijan. Mercury, hello. We just need a quick confirmation, me and Riggsy. People are under the impression that he's got a penalty for this race.
He has a 5-second penalty. So Jamham, I believe, won the race.
Oh! I actually didn't care.
Oh!
He was 2 seconds behind,
Amico
right?
was right.
Yeah, 2 seconds.
Amico was right.
Yes.
Yep. So
Ham done
Jamham's won the race.
Ham done 2002. You stayed out on intermediates, and it wasn't meant to be for you. We were expecting you and Bruno Will to react, but obviously it's very difficult because you're both the same team. But take us through your race and what you thought, because you was on for a potential victory today.
The start of the race, so that lost me time. Then I spun just after I'd come out on the inters for the second time, and then at the end, I was basically thinking do the opposite of what James did, because I was always gonna I was either gonna be P2 or P3. I don't think I was gonna quite catch Bruno Will, but yeah, it was a gamble. It didn't quite pay off, but obviously I'm happy that James got the win as well.
Jamham.
Yes.
Riggsy mentioned that this was your first race win.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Last week, Hamjam, it was your first race win last week. I'd like to apologise. I wasn't aware. I didn't hype it up that much. I am very sorry. But Hamjam, very good race win last week. But Jamham,
Thank you.
Spain isn't actually a very good track for your first win. Monaco is your first win, Jamham. Your first win at Monaco. If it was 40-lap race, you would have won that race. You would have crossed the line in first. How does it feel? You had a very good race. Your pace was insane. Take us through your race and how you're feeling about your first win here in Monaco.
Yeah, I'm really happy with that. Qualifying, I was a little bit disappointed, to be honest, because it was so close as to second or fifth, which is obviously where I started, and then yeah, got a really good launch. Pace on the inters was really good. Managed to catch the two marks, and then yeah, took the gamble onto the softs at the end, and I was confident they would be pretty quick towards the end, and yeah, thankfully they were for me to close in enough. And I was always aware that Bruno will have that penalty, so I was just keeping in the back of my mind, if I can get within 5 seconds, I could win it. So yeah, I'm really happy with that.
Absolutely amazing, Jamham. That is stellar performance there from Jamham in his horse. Anyway, thank you to everyone that competed here this evening. a very dreading. A lot of drivers dread the Monaco Grand Prix, but I'm sure the podium finishers are never going to dread Monaco again. Thank you, Rigsy, for joining me in the commentary box here this evening for the Monaco Grand Prix of Tier 1. And congratulations to Bruno Will, Jam and Hanjam, the two Hanjam brothers, guys. Still confused 18 months on. But thank you to everyone that competed here in Monaco. Do join LRS Mercury and DJ Danny. Gravity is currently away on holiday, so he unfortunately will not be with us. You can't hear his lovely voice in the com box. We will hear the return of DJ Danny, and LRS Mercury will be in the com box with him tomorrow for the Tier 2 Monaco Grand Prix, where the Tier 2 season's got anything. If we've got anything to go by the Tier 2 season, tomorrow is going to be an incredible race. So do join us tomorrow for Tier 1 Monaco, and then join us next week where we return to the lovely country of Azerbaijan for the Tier 1 Azerbaijan Grand Prix at the Baku City Circuit. We'll see you next time.